I'm Richard Clarke. I record these talks every day as a way to deepen my inquiry. Listen each day and deepen your own practice. Welcome. I'm reviewing and commenting on the book Talks with Sri Ramana Maharshi. Today is from Talk 523, Part 2. Later. Again, what is the cause of the passions? Desire to be happy or enjoy pleasure. Why does the desire for happiness arise? Because your nature is happiness itself, and it is natural that you come into your own. This happiness is not found anywhere besides the self. Do not look for it elsewhere, but seek the self and abide therein. Still, again, that happiness which is natural is simply rediscovered, so it cannot be lost, whereas the happiness arising from other objects are external and thus liable to be lost. Therefore, it cannot be permanent and so is not worth seeking. Moreover, craving for pleasure should not be encouraged. One cannot put out burning fire by pouring petrol over it. An attempt to satisfy your craving for the time being so that the passion may later be suppressed is simply foolish. There are, no doubt, other methods for the suppression of passion. They are regulated food, fasting, yoga practice, medicines, but their effects are transitory. The passions reappear with greater force as soon as the check is removed. The only way to overcome them is to eradicate them. That is done by finding their source, as stated above. In this dialogue, the questioner is asked Sri Ramana Maharshi about the root of human passions and desires. The Maharshi explains that passions, like the desire for pleasure or happiness, stem from the natural inclination to seek happiness. This desire arises because our true nature is happiness itself, and our deepest instinct is to return to that original state. Ramana emphasizes that this happiness is not something that can be found outside. It exists only within the self. When you look outside for happiness in possessions, relationships, or achievements, you're searching in places where lasting happiness cannot truly exist. The Maharshi points out that happiness derived from external things is temporary, unlike the innate happiness of the self, which cannot be lost. The happiness tied to objects or experience fades. This transient makes it unworthy of pursuit, since it leads to disappointment and suffering. By understanding that happiness is our natural state, we can begin to see that the search for it in external sources is misguided. The dialogue also addresses the cycle of desire and satisfaction. Trying to appease desires with temporary pleasures is, says Ramana, like pouring fuel on a fire. Instead of calming the desire, it strengthens it. When you feed a craving, it only grows, creating a deeper attachment. Maharshi uses this metaphor to show that satisfying passions merely intensifies them rather than bringing true peace. The questioner might wonder about other approaches to handling desire, like fasting, controlling diet, yoga, or medicine. Maharshi acknowledges that while these methods may suppress passions temporarily, they do not bring lasting freedom. Once the restraint is lifted, the desires often return with even greater force. According to Maharshi, these methods are superficial because they do not reach the root of desire. For true freedom from passions, Maharshi advises self-inquiry. When you trace desires back to their source, you find that they arise from the mind's identifications with external things, which distracts from the self. By focusing inward and recognizing the self as the real source of happiness, you gradually let go of attachments. This process, though challenging, leads to lasting peace because it aligns with the true nature of the self. So know yourself and be always free and at peace. In 40 Verses on Reality, Ramana Maharshi explains the nature of the self, the ultimate reality, and self-inquiry. My new book, with my comments and inquiry questions, opens these teachings up and brings them into your practice and experience. Available now from Amazon. Link in the video description. These videos bring Ramana's teachings into your direct experience. Click subscribe to see more. Click thumbs up to like, and send questions and start a dialogue with a comment.